What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Jeremy Hambley channel, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I hope you're enjoying this more casual video because there's a little bit more here to talk about with the Zohran Mamdani quote-unquote win in New York. It is my firm belief that this is probably the best thing that could have happened to Republicans, because if Cuomo would have won, it would have been more of the same, and really Silva didn't really have any reasonable chance. Now Republicans get to say, well, do you want, socialism, or do you want common sense? Do you want communism, or do you want common sense? This is going to be, you're going to hear this language, you're going to hear this verbiage a lot over the coming months and probably even into the midterms. Zohran Mamdani will be used as a cudgel against the left. This win could be, quite frankly, extremely bad for them, as people and business owners have already started to come out and say that they're moving their businesses out of New York. Dave Portnoy destroys Zohran Mamdani after election and threatens to move his entire company, Barstool Sports, out of New York City. Relieved, Dave Portnoy says he is thankful to no longer live in New York City following Zohran Mamdani's election win, and has threatened to move Barstool out of the city. Mamdani, just 34, was elected the mayor of New York City on Tuesday night after romping to a victory with the polls of 50.4% support, defeating Cuomo at 41.6 and Curtis Silva at 7.1. The Democratic Socialist win is a seismic moment in U.S. politics. It really isn't. You had like the 18-year-old super uber woke mayor in Minneapolis. I think he's still the mayor. He defeated that Somali guy who's even more woke. We've had woke mayors in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. We've had, commie mayors in Seattle and in Portland and San Francisco. Like, this isn't exactly the earth-shattering win that the left keeps trying to play it up to be, which is why people have to pay attention and stop worrying about infighting online and worry more about, getting the job done. However, not everyone's happy to see him come out on top, including Barstool's founder, David Portnoy. After Mamdani became the mayor-elect on Tuesday, he quoted a video of CNN's Scott Jennings branding him a great actor on X and concluded himself, quote, "Scott Jennings sums up Mamdani perfectly. If this is what the people in New York City want, so be it. Thank God I don't live there anymore." Portnoy has also previously expressed his disdain for Mamdani and his left-wing ideology, which has left him weighing up whether or not he was going to move Barstool's entire offices out of New York City, which is probably hundreds of employees. Here's the clip that he's actually referring to. Let's go to the tweet here.
Compliment your guy. He's the greatest actor you have. He turned himself into a hood ornament for the poor and the downtrodden. He's a rich kid who is a great actor. He play acts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I can understand why. I can understand why you'd be leery of an actor in politics.
I'm just saying, there's no other obvious Democrat.
Yeah, he's butthurt about that's a comment about Trump, I believe, or maybe Reagan. I don't know.
He has all the energy behind him. You talk about slicing and dicing the electorate. He's going to slice it and dice it in one way: oppressors and oppressed.
No.
And I want to find out if he has it in him to give it up. I don't think he does, because that's the energy in the Democratic Party. It's oppressors and oppressed. That's why the Jews in the city feel scared, because they know he has labeled them as the oppressors. That's why people who create jobs in New York City are leery, because he labels them the oppressors. That is the worldview of the energy of this campaign, and it's also the worldview of the energy of Democratic primaries across this country.
100% right. 100% right. And ultimately, we're going to take a look at some of his supporters. If it was just me, I would move the company out of New York City because I hate this guy so much, he said on his company's Unnamed Show podcast last week. But I won't, because there's a lot of people in New York and I don't want to change their lifestyle for it. Despite admitting it would make his employees' lives harder, Portnoy admitted he's still considering moving Barstool out of the Big Apple. "I may close the New York office. Trust me, I've given it a lot of thought," he added, "because I can't stand the thought of Mamdani running the effing New York City. I can't stand it. But then a part of me is like, how much will actually change?" And that's kind of the reality that I try to tell people who are like doomsdaying. The dude's just the mayor. Like, the city planner has more clout than he does. Like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be paying attention and we shouldn't look, but like, he's just a mayor. I mean, you can look at this. The Somali American who's said protecting illegal migrants from Trump was his top priority lost his bid to become America's wokest mayor. This isn't exactly the statement win that people think. Mamdani was he was running against nobody. I could not bring myself to tell my viewers, hey, if in New York, you should suck it up and vote for Cuomo. Do you know how many elderly people that guy killed? Do you know how many women that guy allegedly groped? Like, this guy is a garbage human. Mamdani was running entirely unopposed. Anybody with any sense would not have voted for Cuomo after how he locked down that city and tried to run it into the ground. You know, and you say, according to Lead IQ, Barstool has 1,300 employees as of September 2025, with about 84% of them based in the United States, 325 based in New York. Mamdani has vowed to impose a 2% income tax increase on New Yorkers earning more than $1 million and raise the top corporate rate from 7.25% to 11.5%. All that's going to do is make corporations leave. If you make $10 million, a 4 basis point increase in your tax is going to incentivize you probably to move. Probably, especially because you think about where that, $400,000, $500,000 is going to go, right? Critics have said that this will lead to an exodus of companies and the wealthy from New York to low state taxes like Florida and Texas, putting huge pressure on the city's finances. After he triumphed on Tuesday night, the mayor didn't waste any time in getting, Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up, Mamdani said at his Brooklyn victory party. Then he issued a direct challenge to the president saying, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Trump how to defeat him, it's a city that gave rise to him. Mamdani, who was born in Uganda and became a naturalized American citizen after graduating college, went on to cast himself as the embodiment of the resistance against Trump. He's a rich kid. He grew up rich. He was born rich. He's rich now, and he'll always be rich. For a guy that billed himself as for the people, he ran immediately to Alex Soros and took selfies with him. He immediately was rubbing shoulders with other elitists in his VIP after party. The guy is a fraud, just like all communists. I mean, no different than Hassan Piker, right? Grew up rich, was rich his whole life, got his only meaningful job because his uncle ran the company, parlayed that into sitting on his computer all day and acting like he's oppressed. He's got $10 million in the bank. He drives a Porsche. He lives in a multi-million-dollar gated community mansion in LA. That's who most of your socialist, communist people are. They're not actually working class. They fool the working class. They use the working class as their useful idiots. They make all sorts of promises like $30 minimum wages, like they did in San Francisco. And then what ends up happening to those working class people who got wooed by you? They end up getting replaced by robots. We've seen this play out before in San Francisco right now. Tens of thousands of fast food jobs have been lost to automation, which probably would have been anyway. But it's only going to accelerate that. Mamdani is, of course, a terrorist sympathizer, an absolute loser in every conceivable way, a fraud, and he won't be mayor long. I promise you that. He will not be mayor long. I mean, this is one of his supporters. Watch a Zoran Mamdani supporter wearing a communist t-shirt taunting a grocery store owners vowing to leave the city if Mamdani wins, claiming that the, quote, working class will seize your grocery stores and take over the entire food industry. How are you going to do that?
The grocery store capitalists, which have quite a powerful lobby, right? One of the grocery store bosses, he said of Gristedes, right? He said that he was going to pull out of New York City if Zoran won, right? We would say, sure, pull out, and we will take over your grocery stores, right? And we will use them for cheaper groceries.
How will you get the groceries? How will you afford to buy the groceries to stock them? Who are you going to buy the groceries from? What money will you use? I mean, all of these people, like, a sure sign of someone did not grow up working class is often how they drop the term, quote, working class. That's a great way. That's a great spot for me to end this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you again real soon.